Welcome to the Heart of Fauquier podcast. I'm your host, Austin Bedrosian, and today's special guest is Trina Monty. Thank you so much for being a guest today.
Thanks for having me.
Yes, of course. And so this is exciting because it's a very new business here in Warrenton. It is Benchmark Physical Therapy. Trina Monty is the partner and director here at this location, and they just opened recently. So a lot of new things to talk about, and exciting for the community to have a new business. I know the business community loves new people. There's been a lot of new businesses in the last 2-3 years. So welcome to Fauquier County and Warrenton.
Thanks for having me.
Yes, of course. So before we talk about the practice and everything, just to get to know you a little bit better. So if you could kind of talk to us about what kind of family you have in the area, or what hobbies you have, just a little bit about Trina.
I'm a doctor of physical therapy. I've been a PT for over 15 years now. I'm married. I have 2 kids. We live in Haymarket.
How old are your kids?
So my daughter is 11, and I have a son who's 8.5. So they are in 3rd and 5th grade.
Okay.
And they generally take up the majority of my time outside of work.
Yes.
But it's great. So we have 2 elderly cats at home, and generally spend most of my time running around with them and all of their array of activities.
Yes, definitely. Are they both into sports and everything?
They are. They
Okay.
both of them play lacrosse.
Okay.
My son does taekwondo. My daughter does dance.
Lots
and
going on.
Various other things scattered within there.
Yeah. Okay. And if they ever get hurt or something, they know who to go to, and
Oh, absolutely.
Mom will take good care of them. So, do you already spend time
Recent
wrapping
knee
ankles
sprain,
and
yes,
stuff?
we've already handled.
Yeah.
Yep.
Definitely.
Definitely.
Very cool. My brother-in-law went to school for his bachelor's with athletic training and stuff, and he's always wrapping the kids stuff. And it's nice to have someone right in the home that can
Yes,
take care of
yeah.
stuff, know how to wrap.
It's usually the husband that requires more help
Right.
than the kids at this point.
Okay.
But
Well, good. I'm glad you can do that. And family's a lot of fun and takes up a lot of time, and it's just, I don't know, it's a fun experience.
It is.
We're looking forward to it. I have a 2-year-old and a 7-month-old, so I'm just kind of
starting.
Yeah. So I'm thinking all the time about what's going on in the future. We just signed up for soccer in the spring, and I mean, when they're 2, how much can they do? But it makes me think about.
They have an object to chase around the field, though.
Yes.
Yeah.
So I'm sure we'll have some boo-boos and everything to figure out.
You're at a different level of busy right now.
Yes.
It just changes. It stays busy, but
Yep.
it just evolves.
Yeah. And we're looking forward to it. So.
It's exciting.
But anyway, just to talk more about Benchmark. So when did you guys actually open this location?
So this location opened at the very end of September this past year, and it's been fun. It's our first location in Fauquier County, and Fauquier County has been great to work with. So yeah, we're just excited. We're hoping to expand a little bit more in the future and provide more services here within the community.
Yeah, absolutely. And I've already seen Justin, who works here with you, out at the Fauquier Chamber events. So I'm looking forward to seeing you guys at those as well.
Definitely.
Getting to meet you and for you to meet other businesses here. So
Definitely.
So you said you've been a PT doctor for 15 years of experience.
Yeah.
So what have you done before opening this location?
So I have spent the entirety of my career in the orthopedic world.
Okay.
Outpatient orthopedic settings, some neurological rehab. But in general, I've worked in private practices, and I've worked with physicians. Kind of done a little bit of all of it. But ortho is my love, I guess you could say. And just helping people get back to function and activity and moving.
Yeah, definitely. What drew you to physical therapy in the beginning? What made you jump into it?
I was a young accident-prone athlete.
Okay.
So I got introduced to physical therapy through that, essentially, and just started to think, probably at about 15 years old, like, oh, that looks fun.
Yeah.
So I would say I'm probably one of the few people that started out at a very young age with an idea and a goal, and that was
actually happened.
That was just what
Yeah.
happened. Yeah. So I probably decided I wanted to be a PT around 15 years old.
Okay, that's
like
awesome. So you're living the dream.
Yeah, I guess so.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yep.
Very cool. Let's look. So what do you offer here at this location? So I know you said ortho is your main thing. So what all and specifically do you offer here?
So I treat everything from injury to operative care, chronic conditions. I dry needle. I have a lot of experience and training in dry needling.
What is that?
So essentially we use monofilament needles to target specific tissue within the body. So we generally look at muscular dysfunction,
Okay.
or muscles along nerve segments that maybe aren't working properly, aren't activating enough, or are too tight and activating all the time. Because a lot of people know them as like trigger points and
Okay.
knots and that kind of thing.
Got it.
So with that, I do treat a lot of people with both chronic conditions and acute conditions. It's very effective for all of those. Some people with chronic pain. I've helped people with chronic pain just reduce use of medication, pain management, that
Yeah.
kind of thing. I also offer vestibular rehabilitation.
What is that?
So dizziness,
Okay.
vertigo,
Got it.
imbalance. I work with people after they've had concussions to help them maybe return to just an active lifestyle or a specific sport. Various conditions under that vestibular. If you ever wake up in the morning really dizzy,
There's something wrong that
Yep.
you might be able to fix it.
Yeah,
Okay.
absolutely. I recently got trained in blood flow restriction,
Okay.
which just basically helps people to get stronger faster. So it's been shown to be really effective in some people post-operative, or if they have very specific goals in mind.
Yeah.
That kind of thing.
How does that work exactly? That blood flow?
So basically you use, they're essentially tourniquets, but not really, to reduce the return of blood out of an extremity, which kind of throws your muscles into anaerobic respiration and helps promote muscle building, muscle growth,
Interesting.
strength. It's all very cool
Yeah.
stuff.
Is that a newer thing, or is that something you've been doing for quite a long time?
Bodybuilders have been doing it forever.
Okay.
If you've ever seen the big bodybuilders in the gym
Yeah.
with these bands around their
Okay.
arms.
Got it. That's what they're doing.
Sometimes they were doing it without realizing it.
Yeah.
But they noticed that if they did that, their muscles would get faster more quickly, or get tired more quickly.
Okay.
But
And
then
so then
in
it
the
starts
medical world, it's been, it's evolved and it become a little bit more scientific.
Yes. They know why.
Yes,
and
yes.
how.
And,
Okay.
knowing that there is such a thing as too much. So people can hurt themselves doing these things independently, not monitoring how much restriction they're putting on or that kind of thing.
Right.
So it is evolved to a much more scientific,
Yes.
monitored use.
Okay. So you can lead and guide them and tell them exactly how much and
What's
when.
enough, what's too much.
Okay.
Not enough, that kind of thing.
Very interesting. I did not know about either of those things. And I think it's interesting because, at least for me, I often think of physical therapy as for athletes, basically. But really, it's not just about athletes. There's, people that are coming from recovering from a surgery, like you mentioned, or even chronic stuff. So, what kind of chronic stuff have you worked with?
So I would say probably the most typical chronic things we see are back and neck pain, spine problems. When it comes down to it, probably about 70% of the population has some kind of existing spine issue, whether or not they know it or it's symptomatic or not, that kind of thing. But I would say a lot of the chronic stuff that we do see is spine related. Arthritis, osteoporosis. As we age, things start to deplete, muscle, bone, all of that stuff. But those are all things that can be managed in a setting like this. Or even just to help somebody gain back a little function if they have a very arthritic, stiff knee, get it moving so that they can do things. When you start to get into chronic conditions, you see a lot of disuse. A lot of people start to limit themselves in how much they move and how much they do because it hurts or it's really challenging. And when that happens, you start to see additional problems.
Because they're not moving.
Become less healthy.
So, okay.
You gain weight, blood pressure, all of these other things kind of accumulate. It's very much if you don't use it, you lose it kind of thing. So working on keeping people mobile and keeping them active so they can continue to live their lives in a healthy way.
Yeah.
In an active way, which is generally better for us and socially, emotionally, cognitively.
Right.
All of that.
And then, you have so many people that have office jobs that sit for 8, 10, 12 hours. So
many.
that
and
does
people
not
with
help.
really bad commutes.
Yes. So you're sitting in your car that
pretty
much
much
longer.
most of those people have neck or shoulder pain to some degree. Yep. So helping people work through that stuff as well.
Okay. So what's your thought on the standing desk trend? Is that helpful?
I love it.
Okay. So it's a great idea for people.
It is a great idea. I prefer not just a straight standing desk, something that goes up and down.
Okay.
I often recommend to people you should change position every 45 minutes to an hour. Mm-hmm. So just getting out of the seated position into standing, or if you've been standing too long, then moving back into sitting.
Yeah.
Getting up and walking around. I tell people to set timers.
Yeah. And now everybody has one of these or a Fitbit or something that yells at you every hour if you don't stand up. So.
Oh, yeah.
It's just about listening to it, I guess. So
it's very easy to ignore it sometimes.
It is.
Yes.
So what has been the most fun part about running a practice and doing physical therapy?
Working with people.
Yeah.
Can be really fun. People of all ages, but just getting to know a variety of people from different circumstances in life whom I may have never met otherwise. But it can be very fun just working with others. If you get a couple people in here, they start talking.
Yeah, all about relationships.
That's the best part of it.
Yeah.
Is really just having fun with people.
Yeah, and then you can see them make progress as well
and that's
as you
great.
Get to know them and hear their story. So.
And when people come in and they're in pain, and as they start to evolve and things start to get better, personalities come out.
Oh, okay.
All of us, you can see the changes that pain does to somebody, and the way that getting rid of it can change them as well.
That's interesting.
So that's pretty cool.
Yeah, I like that a lot. What's been a more difficult thing about doing physical therapy and opening this location maybe?
So far with opening, really it's just getting out there in the community, getting people to know that we're here and know what we do. As far as the physical therapy world in general, I feel like it's evolved in the last, everything's evolved in the last 20 and 30 years, but PT has as well. And some people still have a really traditional view of it, in the sense that, you only go when you're completely broken and you just do these 3 things and then you leave. But PT has changed, and we can do a lot more preventative care now.
Okay.
Helping people stay mobile and stay active, that kind of thing. So the services that PTs can do has changed dramatically. The education of PTs has changed. So just, educating the world around us about what all we really can do.
Right. Who are some of the people that should look into preventative care with coming to a location like this?
So all of your athletes.
Okay.
Generally, the stronger and more stable you are, the more likely you are to be able to sustain your activity. Anybody who's aging, which is everybody.
Yeah.
As we age, just the physiology of it is that we don't get as strong as quickly, and we have to do a lot more to stay as active as we would like to be.
Okay.
I would love to see people seek care more quickly. I too am guilty of it. It's like, this is going to go away. It'll be fine. But generally, the faster somebody gets in for help, the faster things get better.
Okay.
So
instead of it turning into the chronic thing.
Instead of it's been 6 months, it's been a year, things are getting worse. I just stopped doing that because it hurts. that kind of thing.
It's been a decade, and I just take ibuprofen when I need it, kind of thing. Yeah.
Yes, that happens a lot.
Yes, I've heard that a lot as well. So, with family and friends and everything. So, and even I can be guilty of it. You know, you just
absolutely.
You're like, well, it kind of hurts, but it's okay. I can manage it. You know, so you just don't worry about it anymore and move on.
Until all of a sudden, maybe one day you just can't manage it.
Yep. So instead of getting to that Point Break or whatever,
exactly,
you fix it beforehand.
Address it more quickly.
Yes,
it gets better faster.
What are you looking forward to the most in 2023?
Growing.
Yeah.
Here, building this place up. Maybe, getting another therapist. Just expanding in general.
Yeah. Okay. Which is great. I mean, you started, you said in September, so we're just a few months in, so a lot of growth to be had and people to meet and everything. What does your team look like right now? You just said you want to add another therapist, so I know you have a few people here with Justin, Michelle, I've heard, and everything.
Yep, Michelle is my office coordinator. She's the friendly voice on the phone, or sitting at the desk when people come in. We have a small team in the area. There's a few of us that are opening benchmark clinics in the Northern Virginia area in general. So we have a little community. We all kind of support each other. We have a place opening up in the Madison Crescent shopping center, essentially in Gainesville, very soon in early February. So,
very cool.
I'm excited for them, and just.
You're going to be able to put your heads together as well with both being so new in the similar area.
Do.
Yeah. So I think it's interesting. It's not maybe a franchise, I guess you wouldn't say, or maybe you would call it kind of that idea.
Kind of that idea. Yeah. We have a support system essentially, but it's we're partners and we operate the places, and this is my place. It's kind of my second home right now. Yeah,
definitely. And what are kind of the advantages that you have because you're backed by someone like Benchmark?
It's that support system.
Yeah.
We just have the resources, people that have done it before to help us. A team of people like Justin who go around and help us market and get our name out. And then, like an HR department and just people that can help us with some of the intricacies of running the business so that we can focus more on taking care of people.
Yeah.
So we can do our job and we just get that support in the background to help us run efficiently.
Which I think is great because sometimes people will see a name that they recognize elsewhere and think, oh, it's a big company or something. But really what it seems like you guys are doing is you have the backing and everything like that from Benchmark, which is a bigger company, but then you get the small town feel because it's an individual that's running it and gets to go in the community. It's not just, a manager that kind of moves around constantly, you know what I mean? So it's having all of the benefit of a bigger company that you can trust, but you have the small town feel because it's a local person and they care about you and everything. They're just not bogged down by all the admin stuff that some local people are bogged down by,
Can be a lot.
Absolutely.
And in healthcare, that there's a whole new level of complicated that comes with some of those things. So to have assistance with that is really helpful.
Yeah, because you, when you were 15, you were dreaming of helping with people with PT, not necessarily doing the books and doing all this other stuff that isn't your strength.
Insurance and all of those things. Yeah.
So it helps things move really smoothly and everything for you. So I love that. So, and I just think that's interesting to bring up because people will love, Chick-fil-A or whatever, which is a big name because they know it's a local franchise. I know the people here are great people and people love them. So it's just kind of putting that into other fields as well, and understanding the benefit and everything as well. So,
absolutely.
So, thank you so much for visiting.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah, of course. So I don't know if you had any other final things that you wanted to say before we came to a close?
Not really.
Okay.
I think we kind of covered it all.
Yeah. How can people get in contact with you? Oh, as the phone
phone
rings,
rings.
yes. How can people get in touch with you?
So you can call us.
Yes.
We have an online presence. So if you look for Benchmark Physical Therapy in Warrenton or just Physical Therapy in Warrenton, search for us, Benchmark. We have a Facebook page. Yeah, I think that kind of covers it.
Yeah, and you can even stop in. We're just right here by the Harris Teeter in Warrenton.
We are.
Very central to the area.
It's a very
so
busy little spot.
plaza,
right here.
yep,
Yeah.
yep, it is.
Yep.
So, all right, well, thank you so much, and
Thanks for having me.
definitely follow them. Reach out to them if you have any physical therapy needs or you know someone who does. Don't let it become a chronic thing.
Don't let
Take
it go
care of
there.
it now. Do preventative care, and they're super friendly and want to meet you. So we'll see you guys next time.
Thank you.
Thank you for joining us for today's episode of The Heart of Fauquier. If you loved joining us today, give this podcast a great review and subscribe to keep up with new episodes. If you have an office in Fauquier that needs a cleaning service, reach out to Bedrosian Cleaning Services and see how they can serve you. Until next time, thanks for listening.